Through this writing paper, the steps that are part of the learning-based project will be described. In the same way, it will be known how these steps were put into practice when we were planning our event discipline in classroom. With this said, it is important to mention that at the beginning of the semester, we were able to learn a teaching method that had not been previously mentioned to us. This teaching method is the project-based learning, which according to Goodman, PBL is an instructional approach built upon learning activities and real tasks that have broad challenge for students to solve. These activities generally reflect the type of learning and work people do in the everyday world outside the classroom. PBL is generally done by a group of students working together through a common goal. Therefore, Ascala asserts that distinctive feature on project-based learning is problem orientation. This is the idea that a problem or question serves to drive learning activities. The second feature of PBL, constructing a concrete artifact, is what distinguishes project-based learning from problem-based learning. Given these definitions and the theory seen in class, we managed to understand the type of learning method and finally put into practice.
Hello everyone! Well, now we have a question for you. How can we start a project by following project-based learning approach? Actually, it's easy. The first step is to define and design. According to Korea, in this first step, the teacher proposes a project according to the curricular content of the course to get the purpose of this. And how does the teacher do? Okay, the teacher spreads the curiosity around the classroom and arouses the interest of all the students by asking questions that encourage them to investigate and think about problems or situations that need to be addressed. And students get involved by a brainstorming in which everyone participates. Students give their points of view, may question each other, get to know each other's interests, and even share their experiences. So, the content of the project needs to be enough meaningful to the students and directly connected to their professional reality and context. And the purpose of this brainstorming is to define and design a problem or situation in 1 or 2 sentences. Why in 1 or 2 sentences? Well, it is because if the topic or the name of our project is short, it allowed a clear and precise understanding of all our projects.
The first step in our event was to define what type of project we wanted to develop, and we were sure that we wanted the topic to be related to teaching. As we started talking and discussing, we realized that we all wanted to know more about discipline, since we had all encountered misbehavior problems while teaching and we were not well prepared on how to deal with them. We were also worried about the right way to deal with these type of issues, since we know we have to interact with parents and we wanted to do it in the best way possible. We decided that discipline in the classroom would be our topic, and since it was not taught in our classes, nor was it in our curriculum, we decided it would be a great idea to have a conference in which other students could attend. We know that there are many different types of misbehavior and teachers are not allowed to deal with each one of them. So we decided that it would be better to have a psychologist, an administrator, and an experienced teacher tell us the best way to cope with discipline. We were all very satisfied with our planning since we had defined exactly what we wanted to know, and we designed it in the best way possible for everyone to learn. Upon reflecting about this step, our greatest accomplishment was learning how to work as a team. At first, it was a challenge since we were 10 members and we felt like we were too many. After defining all of our tasks, we designed our plan to incorporate each one of us in a specific task. In logistics were Alina and Ana Karen, who were in charge of finding our speakers. Diana and Dayana were responsible for the introduction of the event and registration. Jessica, Andrea, and Ceci were in charge of the research and the supplies we were going to give as a raffle. Cristal was in publicity, so she designed our flyer and it got published. Jose and Luisa were our caterers for the event.
We were really proud of ourselves for finding an important task for each one of us and discussing everything in order to reach an agreement. We think that we really did an amazing work defining and designing us as a team, and definitely this will help us a lot as teachers, because we know that we have to learn to work with other teachers as a team, which implies to give and receive opinions, share our experiences, share our ideas, listening to different teachers, to different perspectives, and making proposals to share our methods, share our techniques. And we think that in this way we can contribute to improve the education of our students.
Hi, my name is Diana Reynoso and I'm going to talk about the second step of project-based learning. First of all, I need to clarify that this is just the theoretical part, and then my partner is going to explain how we put it into practice in the creation of our event. So this step is called Set Goals or Setting of Goals. According to Billig and Intipler in 2012, learning goals are really useful for teachers. Why? Because it helps them to monitor and guide students to the learning process. And also it helps that the evaluation of the outcomes it will be only centered in the method, which is beneficial for the students. According to Berger and Merritt in 2015, establishing a set of goals will enable the students to manage themselves and others, and also if that set of goals is effective and really well done, that will provide the students with a lot of benefits. Which type of benefits? Well, one of them is directing attention. Also, that the set of goals will encourage in high level to our students, and they will also develop innovation and persistence. But most important, the set of goals will help the students to prevent any type of issue and prevent stress that the project can give them. So this is the theoretical part of the second step of project-based learning. Now my partner, as I told you before, is going to explain you how we put it into practice in the creation of our event. Thanks.
The process of setting the goals started by asking us what will be the outcome of this event? What will the participants take out from it? The first step was to discuss as a group what we wanted to talk about during the event. By sharing our personal experiences, we got to the conclusions that during our time in college, they never taught us how to handle misbehavior in a classroom. So that was our topic, misbehavior in a classroom. The second step was to choose what kind of situations or environments we were going to talk about during the event. For example, why does a student misbehave? What to do or not to do? What triggers those actions? How to approach parents, among other situations. Our final goal was to help future teachers or teachers who are handling these kind of problems. At the end of the event, the participants will be able to handle these situations accordingly to what they have learned during the event.
Step 3. Guidance and motivation. In this step, the team members present their previous knowledge on the subject, and Van der Molen and Smith say that this process entails the generation of as many explanations, ideas, or hypotheses as possible. They think that it was a very good idea to invite these people because of situations or behaviors that the students present.
Hello, my name is Andrea, and today I'm going to talk about the step 4, that is feedback. Feedback is a way of communication which people can give their opinion about objects and events to improve the situation. And we can talk about feedback in many contexts, but in the education context has a specific role. Its role is that when you have feedback, students and teachers, they can improve their educational environment. So everybody can learn in the real way. And now, related to our event, the feedback that we received was to find alternatives to manage the time and to specify our situations that we are going to have for the audience. So about the time, the solution that we found was to put somebody on charge of the whole schedule of the event. In that time, that person can organize the next activity, so everybody will know what is going to do. And about the situations, we determined to show to the audience 2 situations. In that way, the speakers can give solutions and opinions about the topic.
Hi guys, I'm Jessica and I'm going to talk about the step 5 of a PBL project, that is assessment. As we know, we needed to present a well-designed project. We needed to know what to do and how to do it. And this was done with the help of teachers and administrators. Assessment is needed because this is our source of improvement and feedback. There are different types of assessment in a PBL project. For example, self-assessment. This type of assessment allows us, the organizers, to evaluate and compare our performance with the goals we had already set for the project. It also has an empowering aspect in us, as we are the ones planning the event, as the success of our event is going to be the result of our hard work. We had to be more independent, as we personally had to monitor the event progress. Teachers are still having an important role in the process to accomplish the goals we had already set. Lastly, peer assessment. With this, one aspect in which we were lacking can be pointed out. We can also develop critical thinking, as we are in charge of the project.
Okay, so for the assessment in our event, at the beginning when we were planning everything, we have had the idea of making an open question section, so the students could be able to ask to our speakers any question they have or share with them any situation they have lived and see what the speaker will have done in that situation. But later, when we share the idea with our classmates and the teacher, they open our eyes and made to see that maybe the time wouldn't be enough. So we talk and we decide to present 3 situations, okay? And for the side situation, we talk as a team and we share our experiences in classroom as a teacher. And we make a list of 6, 7 problems that we have lived. And to decide which use for our event, we make a quick survey in the classroom with our teacher and the classmates to see what topics they believe that were more interesting. And that's how we select the three situations that were we present in the event. But also we decide that if maybe we have a little time a little extra time, we could allow like 2 students to make a question and the speakers could answer them, but what's only we have time. And even we didn't make the event, we have everything prepared and we were ready to present it.
Step 6. Share. Since PBL helps students create frameworks of information that will simulate rapid recall in future practice. The memory patterns differ from those produced when the students the subject knowledge organized around the typical textbooks. The challenge is for us to facilitate the development of cues and the appropriate knowledge structure. The last step is a powerful diagnostic tool that the students use before, during, and after a task. Pilots, doctors, and engineers all use checklists and as a way to determine whether their work has fit specific criteria. When students use a checklist and share it, they are learning how to make sense of the systems. Our event was going to be on the first floor of CEPADI. We made a poster and made a talk of tasks, invited some teachers and students who were going to receive more information on the topic discipline in the classroom.
As a group and team in charge of the event, we were able to reflect on the minimal details that emerged for the realization of our project, which we could discuss with our teacher in charge of the group. And this will be taken into account for the future. Although we felt sad for not having been able to present it as we wanted, we feel happy and proud for having successfully carried out the process of making our event, even if it was not possible to present it to the audience at the end. We have the experience for possible upcoming events, of which we can be in charge again. Our guests were going to listen to this information from the perspective of a teacher, an administrator, and a psychologist, so that they had different points of view regarding it. Related to our event, this last step was achieved as the development of our project, which was discipline in the classroom. However, unfortunately, it couldn't be presented as we would have liked due to the unexpected pandemic that arrived. We had everything in order to present our project.
Hi, so our event was planned to be carried out on March 24, but due to the difficult circumstances that we are having right now, we have to cancel the event. Due to this, my teammates and I decided to share a little part of the entrance speech that we will use that day. So I'm going to switch to Spanish to say the speech, due to the reason that our event was planned to be in Spanish to get more attention of different groups, not just or degree group. So this is the speech. I hope you like it, and this is just to show you a little bit of what our event could have been. Buenos días a todos los presentes, autoridades educativas, maestros, ponentes y alumnos. Esta mañana me gustaría darles la bienvenida a nuestro evento Disciplina en el Aula, el cual es organizado por la doctora Rodríguez Bulnes y los alumnos de 10º semestre de Ciencias del Lenguaje. Para este evento tengo el placer de ser la maestra de ceremonias. Mi nombre es Diana Reynoso y junto a mis compañeros de 10º semestre les agradecemos a todos su presencia. El objetivo de nuestro evento es dar a conocer las diferentes maneras de abordar los problemas disciplinarios en los salones de clase. De igual manera, se busca la manera de dar a conocer cómo abordar este tipo de problemas disciplinarios con los padres de familia de los alumnos. Ante esto, recurrimos a 3 expertos que pertenecen a diferentes cuerpos en el ámbito educativo, los cuales son administrativo, psicológico y docente, para que aborden desde su perspectiva el manejo de la disciplina del aula. Aclarado lo anterior, me gustaría darle la cordial bienvenida a los ponentes que nos acompañan el día de hoy. Para presentar a cada uno de ellos, se mencionará una remembranza de sus logros educativos. Gracias. So this was a little part of the speech that we could have used that day. We create this speech thinking of a warm welcome to the public and the speakers, and also to say thank you for their presence. But sadly, we couldn't use it due to these sad circumstances right now and difficult times. So I hope you like it, and this was just to show you a little bit of what our event could have been and how our event could have started. So thank you, and we will continue with other reflections.
In carrying out this work, I could see that we all organized very well to make our event a success. Despite being a very big team, each one of us had a very important task for the event. So I noticed that our collaboration and our participation were so essential for the event to be done. Personally, I made a great effort to get our poster and our badges so amazing that they were able to meet the expectations of our speakers and our school. The whole team was giving me opinions and ideas all the time. We were always supporting each other in our task. Therefore, I think that the poster was made to everyone's liking. I really like knowing that we all have this important quality of teachers. That is that we were always contributing with something to everything, even though if it wasn't our task specifically, when we had problems, we all tried to find solutions, and that was so cool, I think. And to be honest, I have never organized an event. Well, I didn't know the PBL approach. I didn't know how it works. However, I really enjoyed this experience. I really enjoyed the process, and I was very excited for our event to happen because I really admire our speakers since they are experts in teaching. They really love teaching, I know. In conclusion, I really love this experience because I also spent time with my best friends.
Using the PBL steps to make an event improve aspects that I think a teacher should have, like taking into consideration the opinion of others. In the process, this was made when we presented the organization and ideas we had for the event. And in this exchange of opinions, we got some feedback and made changes for the best of our event. Also, I've noticed that not a lot of people like to make or organize events, so these steps are an asset in a teacher's curriculum because it is easier to plan and organize an event, and things are more clear than you think they are, and you can have everything written down, and the organization is more fluid.
The PBL experience was a very good contribution for me personally and for my development in the profession. Organizing an event based on a learning method teaches how to work in team, make team decisions, and to know that not all the time all the group members will share the same ideas. In addition to learning how to work from the beginning, to choose a topic, base the topic, and find a way to share them and know how it will serve to others. This event wasn't carried out for many situations in our country, but this experience was definitely a great opportunity to learn, and this learning is adding to my development personally and professional.
Hi, my name is Diana Reynoso and I'm going to talk about my personal experience with the PBL and the creation of the event. So first of all, I never imagined that you could create an event or planning something using like PBL or a teaching method in this case, because I thought that sometimes you just, as traditional teachers, just use the teaching method in their classroom and then in their daily life are just different. So it was really great to see how you can apply a teaching method in your daily life, not just in the classroom, so that becomes a more meaningful experience for the student and for the teacher. So that is really great. Also, I like the way PBL handles the feedback, because it gives you opportunity to see from other perspectives how you are working and how your outcome is going on. So it's really great from that part. And also I like the way how PBL encourage accept um, other opinions, not just yourself. So that is really great, mostly because now that we are going to go outside and we are going to work as teachers, we need to know how to work as a team, even though if they are big teams or short teams. So we need to know how to handle that. So PBL really makes you handle things in other way, but in this case in a better way, because you are really organized thanks to the steps that the PBL has, and you see each detail of each step, so you can develop your project in a really good way. And it was really useful. Also, I personally in this case I have to design formats, so we can like write down which tasks we should develop next day, or what were the things that we need to do before the event, which things we need to buy also for the gifts and the t-shirts that we are using right now. So it was really interesting how I also developed my way to organize my things and control all of that details in a more useful way and in a more organized way also, because I'm organized but I'm not that organized. So sometimes I keep forgetting things, but thanks to PBL and all the steps that they show me, I could manage to organize all the information in a good way. So no, I didn't have any detail miss. So that was really great from the PBL. So I think the PBL is a really useful method to teach someone and also to apply in our daily life as ordinary people, not just as teachers, because it really helps you to see the big picture of your project, not just the small picture. So it's also useful how others can give you opinions or feedback about your project, because you can see details that you have been missing thanks to them, so you can improve your project, correct any mistake that you haven't seen it. So it's really great, and it's really useful how the PBL makes you a better person also, because you are improving in all your skills, not just in like writing or speaking. You're improving in all of them, because the PBL combines everything to make a really good project. So that is really great, and I was really amazed because I have never heard about this teaching method before, and I was surprised how well is this PBL design and how it can affect as your teaching life like as your daily life, because you can apply it in both of them and you will have great results. Because I think if our event will have been carried out, it will have been a really good event, and we will have seen a really good outcome about it. So yeah, I think that the PBL is a really great teaching method, and I will apply it when I'm start teaching to my students.
Okay, definitely this project was something new for all of us, because we have never done something like this before in the career. I remember the first day of class when the teacher presented the program and tell what the subject is going to be about. I was so excited because I have organized events before, but I have never done an academic one. And of course, this project have new challenges for me, and I think the biggest one was to find the speakers that know about our topic and that be able to share the experience with the students. But thank God we found them. Another challenge that I have to confront was to work with people that I don't know. Like, I know my classmates, but I have never worked with some of them, so for me it was a little bit difficult because I don't feel very confident giving instructions to people that I don't know very well. But well, this helped me to improve my teamwork ability. I have heard about the PBL before, and I like the way it was applied in the subject, because it's important for teachers be able to planning these kind of events, because when you work at school you need to do these very often, like planned events, and also work with other teachers. So it's good and it's important to have this ability. Also, I was so sad when the event was canceled because it was like 3 days before our event. We have everything done. We have the t-shirts, even we have the presents for our speakers. So yeah, I was so sad when it was canceled, but the important thing is that we learn a lot of this, and yeah, that's it. I really like this subject.
The project-based learning method was new for me, and I really enjoyed learning about it and following its steps while planning an event. I think this is a very interesting teaching method because you learn while being engaged in a meaningful project. I never thought that I would participate in one of our school's events, especially in the planning. The whole process was pleasurable because I learned many things that I had not done before. First of all, I was able to work with a big team. I was used to working with teams of 4 or 5, but never 10. So I discovered new ways of reaching agreements. I was in charge of finding our speakers, and this was something very intimidating because I had never convinced someone to attend and participate in an event. But I'm glad I did this because I met wonderful people that I can now contact. Our event and the PBL method taught me much more than I thought. I now have different skills that will help me in the classroom and in the real world. I will definitely use it with my students.
In my personal conclusion, this will be a project that my team and I were very excited to do a few weeks of work choosing the right team until reach the right one on choosing the small details that make the difference to the performance to the best event, since if that event depends on my final grade. I was excited because our event will be the first and should be great and the example or for the other teams and their future events. I was going to bake the cupcakes, decorate the team with the logo. Unfortunately, this event could not be held due to the health situation in the country, leaving everything paused until further notice.
I have been organizing events for 3 years, and I have never used the method project-based learning, so it was something new for me and refreshing. And when I do this kind of events, I have a special team, but working with my classmates was completely new and unexpected. But we find a way to work out. Even if we were like 11 members of the team, we work good. And also, I noticed that not many teachers know how to organize an event, and it is needed on education. In that way, we can have different ways to use our knowledge. And I think that this class was really useful because all these years I have been organizing these events only by experience. And now that I have the theory, I think that I am more prepared.
My experience with the project-based learning method was very satisfying and new at the same time for me, since I didn't know it. As throughout the career, I had been never thought to carry an event, and I think it was very useful that in the subject we were taught how to do it. The whole process was very important because I think that as teachers we must have this type of knowledge, since in our jobs we may be asked to plan and organize an event. Although the presentation of our event couldn't be shown to other teachers and classmates as well, like I wanted and I desired to happen, I really enjoyed all the process, since the first day of planning to the last one. Besides, I learned a lot of PBL method. I was very interested on the topic that we chose, which was discipline in the classroom. Because as future professional teachers, we must have know how to do it in some situations with students who misbehave in the classroom. I am proud of the effort that myself and my classmates did to carry out the event, and also it was a very good experience for me. And not knowing this method would definitely help us and help my classmates as well in their professional jobs. As I mentioned before, and as I was very interested in the topic discipline in the classroom, I was able to work with classmates that I have never worked with, which it was something new also. Definitely this process was a good experience.
Planning, organizing, and making an event come true was definitely something new in the career. We are taught to plan classes, to research for material that can be beneficial for our students, physical material or material from the internet, and things like those. Because of this, we may think that planning an event has no relation to teaching, when it actually does. Now that we have used the PBL steps to plan an event, we have learned to design and define what type of event we want, to define its purpose and its goals, and even how to evaluate the outcome of it. For teachers, it's important to multitask and learn how to plan and organize events while working with others, and to listen to different opinions. In public schools, there are more events than in language schools, whether they're cultural events or events that are related to other subjects. And now we can be of real help to the organizer. And we can even be the organizer of the school's event. Besides being related to the events, we think that with PBL, people might learn to be more organized and to work as a team, to learn to listen and take into account the opinion of others.